I'm Mel, and this is Miniature Warriors. Welcome back to the channel. Today's game sees us pushing on with our 1864 Longstreet campaign. The game is a two-player aside. We are just south of Petersburg. Anyway, I hope you enjoy.
It is September 30th, 1864, and we are just south of Petersburg, Virginia. As part of the ongoing siege operations, being conducted by the Army of the Potomac, Warren's 5th Corps has this morning assaulted and taken the rebel positions making up the Squirrel Line. Following up this success, Backer's Temporary Corps, consisting of Backer's own and Perot's divisions, had been tasked with opening the road to Petersburg. With Perot's division in the lead, Backer's Corps pushes onwards. Unknown to the Yankee advance is that General Lee has thrown Gray's division in front of Perot's Yankees and ordered Chief's Texans to envelop the Federal. Here we see Brigadier Perot's division, of Backer's 9th Corps, leading the Federal advance after crossing Bald Hill. They are formed either side of Church Road, marching northwards heading for Petersburg. As the leading regiments approach the North Branch Old Town Creek, the lead brigade wheels to their half-left front, to face the manned rebel works. The 2nd Brigade and the divisional artillery continue to close up on the lead Federal regiments that are deploying into a hasty battle line. Just as this was happening, 2 rebel regiments, of Gray's Confederate division, which had been in dead ground, came up out of the North Branch Old Town Creek and poured a murderous fire into Perot's lead regiments. As this fire was cutting into the Federal ranks, Davis's Georgia Battery commenced shelling the recoiling Union regiments from the rebel works. Although the Southern gunners struggled to find the range, the scream of shell after shell escalated the confusion in several of the Yankee regiments who broke and ran to the rear. Elsewhere on the field, Colonel Chief's Texas Brigade had arrived to the west, and quickly went into action against the left flank of Perot's brigade, who desperately traded volley for volley with the newly arrived rebels. But even this 2nd Brigade was slowly giving ground. Perot's 3 batteries initially stemmed the rebel advance, as he drew his regiments into a defensive hook, giving ground as Gray's rebel division swarmed forward, leaving the cover of the North Branch Old Town Creek and formed for the assault. Gray's leading regiments swept forward, slamming into the blue-coated Yankees, who staggered backwards under the ferocity of the Confederate charge, with many of the raw recruits of Perot's division raising their hands into the air and surrendering. The sustained pressure on the lead Federal elements was starting to toll, as were the casualties. With the momentum lost and his left flank turned, Perot's battered division hunkered down. The artillery on both sides undertaking murderous work. Perot continued to look southeastwards, hoping beyond hope that Backer's division would reach the field in time to relieve the pressure on his desperate regiments. But as the rebels were readying for a second close assault, and Colonel Chief reorientated his right flanking units to face the approaching Yankee threat, General Backer's advancing troops paused, deploying their artillery into a massed battery. This pause was enough. Gray's rebels swarmed forward, breaking the lead regiments of Perot's division and sending the remnants recoiling rearwards. With troops now fleeing for the rear and Backer's command too far away to influence the immediate combat, Perot's division dissolved. Backer's division, now facing the combined victorious rebels, with now reinforcements to hand, decided to retire back up Bald Hill. The battle was over. General Backer's command had only lightly been engaged, and had suffered minimal casualties. General Backer was not promoted. Brigadier Perot's division had taken the bulk of the Federal casualties, his lead regiments being shattered early on in the contest as the rebel ambush had bitten home. Brigadier Perot was not promoted. Brinkwater's rebels, commanded by Colonel Gray, who had delivered the ambush on the forward regiments of Perot's division, took medium to light casualties. General Lee was later to visit the field and thank Colonel Gray for his efforts. Gray was not promoted. Colonel Chief's timely arrival on the Union flank was also mentioned, as was the valiant fight put up by his Texas regiments, but he was also passed over for promotion.
Confederate victory, Union loss. A great game of Longstreet. The rebel ambush on the head of the Union advance was spectacular. But anyway, I hope I see you again.